Across the nation, countless families are seeking ways to live more affordably while maintaining stability. This search has sparked a growing interest in compact homes that combine mobility, low maintenance, and modern energy solutions. One such option is the long-discussed Tesla Tiny House, priced at just $5,099, which is now being considered a realistic way to achieve land-free living, zero property taxes, and lower monthly expenses. Thanks to recent innovations in design and renewable energy systems, this tiny house represents a shift in how affordable housing might function in the future. In this video, we'll take a closer look at this solution, its important features, and how it could transform everyday living. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to AutoFusion to help us reach 10,000 subscribers, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all our content. What technical features make a Tesla-style tiny house low maintenance, comfortable, and road legal in most states? The exterior shell of a Tesla-style tiny house uses 4-meter aluminum composite panels, which significantly reduce weight and cleaning requirements. The smooth surface allows rain to wash away dust, requiring only occasional rinsing rather than frequent pressure washing. A standing seam metal roof is favored for its reduced risk of leaks, as it minimizes exposed fasteners that penetrate the roof surface. With low pitch options of about 0.25 to 12 degrees, the roof maintains water resistance while keeping the overall height within road limits. Double-glazed, low-emissivity windows help regulate temperature inside, reducing the load on heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. The U-factor of residential windows ranges from 0.20 to 1.20, with lower numbers providing better insulation. Low-emissivity glass reduces energy loss by 30–50% compared to clear glass. To ensure watertight seals, ethylene propylene diene monomer gaskets are used at window frames and joints, which operate efficiently between 40 terratwisters and 150 detters, depending on the formulation. These technologies mean that users typically only need to clean the exterior surfaces and check fasteners and gaskets once a year. To ensure daily comfort without feeling cramped, the interior of the tiny house is designed to be flexible and multifunctional. Furniture is optimized for dual uses. A Murphy bed, for example, can be folded away to make space for other activities during the day. Folding tables and chairs can be quickly set up or stored away, allowing for smooth transitions between dining, working, and relaxing. Vertical space, often overlooked, is utilized with ceiling-height cabinets, deep drawer slides, and hidden compartments under stairs or seating, ensuring that everything is tidy and easy to access. The kitchen is designed for efficiency, typically featuring an induction cooktop with 1 or 2 zones, a deep sink, and drawers that glide smoothly to meet everyday cooking needs. The layout follows standard dimensions for easy use, with a passage width of about 70 to 80 centimeters for unobstructed movement, and a counter height of about 36 inches for comfortable working. A queen-size mattress measuring 60 x 80 inches, 152 x 203 centimeters, provides ample space for those over 6 feet tall to stretch out. The tiny house's trailer package and chassis are designed for stability, making it easy to tow over various terrains when paired with the right trailer, tires, and tow vehicle. This design keeps the dimensions within road standards, typically about 102 inches wide and 13 to 14 feet high, with a trailer length of 20 to 28 feet, ensuring compliance with driving regulations and minimizing the need for special permits. For stable towing, the tiny house is balanced so that the tongue weight accounts for about 10 to 15% of the total weight of the loaded trailer. Heavy items are positioned lower and slightly forward of the axle to improve balance. The trailer is equipped with electric brakes, a breakaway switch, a 7-pin connector, and load-rated tires. If the total weight approaches the towing vehicle's limits, a weight-distributing hitch can be added to prevent front-end sagging, ensuring that steering and braking systems remain effective. A properly configured half-ton pickup truck can usually tow most tiny houses between 20 to 28 feet in length. For trips on dirt or rough roads, the tiny house can be raised to increase ground clearance, and special off-road tires and a multi-axis hitch can be installed for smoother travel. It's important to regularly check the hub temperature, tire pressure, tie-downs, and coupler pins every 200 to 300 kilometers. Since the tiny house is wide and tall, it's sensitive to crosswinds and low overpasses. Therefore, drivers should plan routes carefully, watching for signage and avoiding tight clearances before departure. How does a tiny house help reduce monthly bills to nearly zero? A tiny house is most cost-effective when it uses a home battery system with a capacity of around 13.5 kWh, such as the Tesla Powerwall 3. This system can deliver continuous alternating current of around 11.5 and can start heavy equipment like refrigeration compressors or pumps without issue. A tiny house using 4 kilowatts per day will consume about 30% of a 13.5 kilowatt battery, and if the usage increases to 6 kilowatts per day, it will consume around 45% of the battery's capacity. Operating the battery with a moderate depth of discharge, like this, helps prolong its lifespan, since lithium batteries are more sensitive to how deeply they are discharged and the surrounding temperature. A daily usage of 70 to 80% of the battery's capacity is considered optimal for its longevity. The battery system is typically monitored through a mobile app that provides automatic updates, and it only requires proper ventilation for safe operation. To extend the battery's reserve time, additional 13.5 kilowatt modules can be added as needed. A small rooftop solar system, typically between 2 to 4 kilowatts, can help charge the battery by harnessing sunlight, though the amount of energy produced depends on local conditions. When there is excess power during the day, the tiny house can prioritize energy-intensive tasks like electric vehicle charging, water pumping, or cooking to reduce the battery's discharge overnight, which also helps increase the battery's lifespan. In areas with net metering, this surplus power can be used to offset grid consumption. For off-grid living, a small backup generator can be added to cover multi-day cloudy periods and ensure continuous power. During power outages, a tiny house can rely on a 13.5 kilowatt battery to keep essential systems running for 1 to 3 days. Essential loads might include lighting, which uses about 0.18 kilowatts per day, modem and network equipment consuming 0.2 and a high-efficiency refrigerator that uses 1.0 to 1.1 kJ daily. An air conditioning unit, running for 4 hours in economy mode, may consume 2.0 to 3.0 kW. In total, essential consumption could range from 3.5 to 4.5 kilowatt per day, allowing the 13.5 kilowatt battery to support the tiny house for up to 3 days before requiring a recharge. How do property classification rules impact a tiny house's chance of avoiding property taxes and reducing annual recurring expenses? Property taxes depend on how the tiny house is classified. When a tiny house is fixed to a permanent foundation and permitted as a dwelling, local authorities usually apply real property taxes, just like any other traditional house. This can be a significant expense, as the average real property tax in the U.S. in 2023 was about $1,889 per household, although the amount varies depending on the state and county. In contrast, if a tiny house is on wheels and registered as a recreational vehicle or trailer, it typically isn't subject to real property taxes. Instead, it may incur taxes or fees related to personal property or motor vehicles. Many states also impose taxes on tangible personal property, and 43 states have some form of this tax. The amount paid depends on how the tiny house is registered and the specific regulations of the state. Additionally, how the tiny house is classified determines the rules it must follow. A unit on a foundation is subject to building code inspections, permits, and utility hookups, whereas a wheeled unit is treated like a vehicle and focuses primarily on road safety equipment, licensing, and parking regulations. A tiny house registered as an RV or trailer typically faces annual expenses related to insurance, registration, and parking. For instance, insurance for a travel trailer averages around $594 per year, with liability policies starting at minimum rates depending on the insurer. Around $125 per year, depending on the driver's profile and location. In contrast, a foundation unit insured as a manufactured or mobile home typically requires a different homeowner's insurance policy, which may cost more but provides more comprehensive dwelling coverage. Registration fees vary from state to state. For example, Texas charges about $45 per year for a trailer under 6,000 pounds, while California applies a vehicle license fee of 0.65% of the vehicle's value instead of a personal property tax, along with other fixed fees. Additionally, when you purchase the tiny house, you may owe sales or use tax based on the transaction. Parking fees are another significant variable, with many recreational vehicle parks charging between $350 and $1,500 per month, depending on location and amenities, while short stays can range from $20 to $80 per night. If parked on private land, you'll need to follow local zoning rules, which may limit long-term occupancy in a recreational vehicle. Utilities can also vary. Off-grid setups can lower electricity and water bills, but in metered parks, you may have to pay extra for power, water, sewer, and internet. Additionally, like any mobile unit, the the tiny house will require regular maintenance, such as tire, brake, and wheel bearing checks on a calendar or mileage basis. The bottom line is that while a wheeled tiny house can avoid annual property taxes, it still requires a predictable yearly budget for insurance, registration, parking, and basic maintenance. To optimize costs, it's essential to choose the proper classification, confirm local tax and zoning laws, and create a 12-month cost plan based on these fixed expenses. Can a tiny house serve as more than just an affordable dwelling and be used as an income-generating space? Yes, a tiny house is incredibly versatile and can easily transition between multiple uses. The key is in its design, which requires only a few core features to make it functional for a variety of purposes. A compact footprint, intelligent storage solutions, multi-purpose furniture, and a basic energy system that keeps operational costs low are all it takes. With these elements in place, the same tiny house can function as a living space, workspace, or rental unit without needing to be rebuilt. As a primary residence, a tiny house offers a compact yet efficient living space for up to 2 people. It's comfortable because every square foot is designed with daily routines in mind, from cooking and sleeping to working and relaxing. Operating costs remain low because there's less space to heat and cool, and modern fixtures and insulation reduce waste. Maintenance is also simpler, making it easier to maintain over time. When used as a studio or office, the separation from the main house creates a quiet zone ideal for focused work. Foldable furniture allows for fast adjustments, so you can easily switch between a desk, a filming corner, or a reading nook depending on your needs. Power requirements for devices like laptops, lights, and small tools are modest, so the same energy system used for daily living can easily support work activities as well. When used as a short-term rental, the tiny house becomes a highly desirable space due to its tidy, functional design, which is easy to clean and reset between guests. Utilities are minimal, meaning electricity and water bills are manageable, which allows for more predictable pricing. If the tiny house is situated at the edge of town as a weekend cabin, a small self-generation system, coupled with a well-insulated structure, ensures it stays cool in the summer and warm in the winter without the need for large, expensive equipment. In case of an emergency, a battery storage system and solar panels can keep the tiny house operational for several days. Essential systems like lighting, refrigeration, communication devices, and a small HVAC unit can be prioritized. The home will remain usable even when the power grid is down, adding an extra layer of resilience for its occupants. When mobility is key, the tiny house's road-legal dimensions allow it to serve as a small office or sales booth, making it possible to set up in different locations as needed. A basic setup with a small storefront, a counter, and a few outlets is all that's necessary to welcome customers and operate a mobile business. Overall, the tiny house is incredibly adaptable. It can seamlessly transition between being a primary residence, a studio, a rental, a weekend cabin, or a small business space, all while remaining compact, economical, and easy to move. This flexibility enables the owner to adapt to changing needs without drastically altering their lifestyle. A Tesla tiny house offers a modern upgrade that significantly impacts monthly living costs. With its small size, self-sufficient power system, low-maintenance shell, foldable interior, road-ready chassis, 13.1 heights, 18.5 kWh battery, and 2 to 4 kW of solar power, this tiny house pushes bills towards zero. Additionally, if registered as a wheeled unit, it can often avoid property taxes. With predictable recurring expenses, it offers freedom to relocate as life demands. If you're looking for land-free living with zero property tax and low utility bills, the Tesla tiny house may be the perfect solution for your next chapter. Be sure to subscribe to AutoFusion and click the notification bell to stay updated with future content.